social media management role has changed a lot over the years, and truth be told, it can be very confusing if you are a social media manager or if you want to become one, what you're even supposed to be working on. In the past couple years in particular, we've also seen the rise of a very similar role, which is called the content creator role, and they often get conflated and can sometimes be a little bit of a mixture. So today I want to share what exactly a social media manager does and what exactly a content creator does, so you can decide which role is going to be the best one for you, what type of business you want to create, what type of job you want to look for, all that good stuff. And whether you're a social media manager or a content creator, you'll likely need to create some social media graphics to do your job well. I really love starting with a template and then customizing it to really make it my own, just because then I know that everything's sized appropriately for the different social platforms and I get some ideas to start with. It's kind of hard to just totally start from scratch. So I highly recommend this collection from HubSpot. It contains 50 customizable templates. I personally really love the cover image templates. It's a great way to make a good first impression when somebody stumbles across your Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter profile. And the best part is these templates are all totally free. So check out the link down in the description to get instant access to these 50 free templates that you can use to promote your own brand or work on client work with, whatever you want to do. I can't wait to see what you create, and thanks to HubSpot for partnering on this video. Okay, so let's hop in. So social media manager, in a short, what the sort of original definition and my personal definition of this role is it's the person who is responsible for managing the content calendar for a brand. So what a content calendar is an overview of what content, so images, photos, text, etc., that a brand is going to be posting across their different social media channels. And a social media channel is just, a profile, so an Instagram, a Twitter, a Facebook, etc. Usually a social media manager will use a social media scheduling tool to lay out all of the content, pay attention to analytics, pay attention to, industry trends to maybe suggest types of content, suggest timing of content, suggest different campaigns. But at its core, a social media manager generally is not responsible for being the only person who creates original content for a brand. Now, if you're working in a more corporate environment or working on a larger team, generally speaking, and in my past experience, there have been people in different content creation roles that I worked with, I shared information with, but I didn't really step on their toes. So for example, in my last corporate job, we had a creative team. So that creative team consisted of graphic designers, copywriters, video kind of editors. So when we had a campaign, maybe we had an event at the business or there was a holiday that we really wanted to promote, the marketing team and the creative team would get together in a room and I would say, hey, I'm the social media manager. I would love to have some Instagram stories to share on Mother's Day. And then the creative team would go ahead and design some templates for me, and maybe the copywriter would be involved as well by supplying some overall messaging about what the business kind of stood for and what their stance was, or whatever, their unique kind of voice in that particular day. And then I would take that all back to my computer and I would just schedule that stuff out. Now, in that role, I did also create original stuff, but it was usually for the day-to-day. So for example, we had a blog that I would often repurpose content from and share links to. That kind of made up my weekly content calendars, share stuff from the blog. So I would write copy to go along with that. So I would write, a little paragraph explaining what the blog post was before I shared the link. I wasn't, being on camera or designing things originally or writing, entire blogs on my own. I was just kind of supplementing content that was already provided for me. At the end of the day, the social media manager's role is really meant to grow the social media profiles. And one of the big ways that you're able to do that is through engagement. So engagement is basically just conversation, communication with other users on social media. So this, for me, has meant cleaning out the inbox, responding to comments, but also doing what we call outbound engagement, where you are going after maybe potential collaborators, potential clients, peers in your industry, and retweeting them, commenting on their stuff, sharing their stuff in your stories, etc. So that's another big piece of the social media management role. And then of course, analytics was a big part of my role as well. Every month I was expected to come up with a report of how our content performed and, what learnings I was going to take into the next month, what learnings I could share with the creative team or the web team. Maybe we were getting a lot of clicks to the website, but we weren't seeing a lot of sales. So maybe the website team needs to optimize the landing page. Maybe the creative just didn't seem to be hitting with our audience, so maybe we can try a different style and so on. Now, I will also say though, that was corporate, right? That was corporate Latasha. Freelance Latasha did it all. I would say that when you are working with smaller companies, when you're working with startups, a lot of the times you're probably going to be wearing a lot of different hats. And I personally really loved that. I actually felt really grateful for all my experiences, of course, but I felt a little bit stifled in corporate because I am a video creator at heart. I've been creating videos forever. I love creating videos, and I really felt like I wasn't able to kind of flex that muscle. I always had to ask for permission and get 1,000 rounds of approval, or somebody else was creating that stuff. I like designing stuff. I like writing, and I didn't really feel like I got to do as much of that stuff as I wanted to. So working for myself, working with smaller teams, smaller startups, they often do not have the budget, or it's usually budget. They usually don't have the budget to have 5 different people on a creative team. Instead, as a social media manager, if you're asking for a graphic, you're kind of expected to create it yourself. At one of my first long-term social media management gigs as a freelancer, I was actually the face of the brand too, or one of the faces of the brand. I went on stories all the time, just face to camera, selfie style. I was running a Facebook group, so everybody knew me and my, personal Facebook profile picture. I was even filming some longer form videos for them on YouTube and things like that. This was back before Instagram Reels or TikTok, but if I were working with the same brand today, I probably would have been filming TikToks for them as well. So just know that there's a little bit of gray area in this role. It's totally going to depend on the type of company you're working for and also what you like to do and your goals. You can really make it whatever you want it to be. Okay, so what is a content creator? So a content creator is basically all of those other things that I just mentioned. And I think that in the past, and probably in corporate still, it's more categorized by graphic designer, copywriter, video person, photographer. In either the freelance world, the startup world, and even just in this kind of newer age, now that we do have TikTok, we do have Instagram Reels, I think it is specifically somebody who knows how to create high quality videos that are bite-sized pieces of content that can be used on social media. I think that is how I would define a content creator. Now, a content creator may be somebody who's on camera, it may not be. I know people who create content for their clients and they're maybe shooting products, right? So if you do product photography or product videography, a lot of times you actually don't need a person in that photo, or maybe they work with models or, other team members to kind of showcase the products. When we're talking about services or education companies, things like that, in most cases, if you're gonna be applying for a content creator role, I would expect to actually be on camera yourself. These types of services are kind of hard to sell without having sort of a face of the brand. And that's one of the main benefits. That's one of the major reasons why companies choose to hire a content creator, is because they often don't have somebody who is comfortable being on camera themselves. It can really run the gamut of what platforms you're gonna be creating for. So I recommend getting a good mix of experience for both short form platforms, long form platforms, video, photos, all the good stuff. And of course you can specialize. If you are a TikTok content creator, well, that's your specialty. If you are a graphic content creator, if you are a, copywriter, these are all different functions of a content creator, all kind of housed under that content creation umbrella. Really quickly, I also want to talk about 2 specific types of content creators. You can apply for a job on LinkedIn, you can search content creator right now. I guarantee you there's gonna be so many companies hiring for that role right now. That would be an in-house role, meaning you are working a job. Now, of course, you can also offer this service as a freelancer or as an agency. And specifically, one of the hot offerings lately is UGC, or user-generated content creation. I have a couple videos dedicated entirely to this concept, so I'll link those if you wanna dive deeper. But essentially, it is recording very simple videos, cell phone type videos, handheld videos, nothing too professional usually. Recording those videos of maybe you applying a lipstick, if it's a lipstick company, or reading a book, or, doing whatever, and sending those over to the client or the company, and they can then use that content on their own profiles, almost looking like it's, a customer's video, but it's actually somebody who is paid to create that content and curate a specific image about that content. So that's one type of content creator. And then another type of content creator is, I feel like this term is kind of getting less attractive these days. Like, people are kind of shying away from it, but influencers, people who create content for their own brands and then build up a platform around that content. So that's a content creator as well. So if you want to be paid to speak your mind and to, share your experiences and to sort of develop a personal relationship with your audience, then maybe you want to become a YouTube content creator or a TikTok content creator under your own brand. The thing about that is sometimes it can take a while to build up a platform. So if you do want to become an influencer or full-time content creator for your own brand, you're not going to want to bank on making a ton of money from this on day one. As I've shared many times, it's taken me like 10 years to build a platform this large. So you probably will want to do something else on the side, whether that's social media management, UGC creation, something to kind of fund that personal brand that you're building. But, I do it. I think it's very valuable and very helpful. I love the relationships I'm able to have with everybody and the impact I'm able to make. And also, like, nothing beats just being your own boss and being able to kind of do whatever you want. So I hope I've given a little bit of clarity around these different roles. I know they're all very similar. They all require, a lot of the same skills, but I would say in a nutshell, if you are more into the admin stuff, if you're good at meetings, if you are organized, if you just want a really professional kind of job, social media manager is what I would recommend looking into. And if you are more creative, if you love to create, you love to make things, you're up on, new content creation trends, you were on TikTok like 2 years ago, well then content creator is probably gonna be the route that I would recommend going down. Let me know in the comments, which one are you leaning towards, or which one do you currently do? Do you do kind of a blend of the two like I sort of do as a freelancer? Let me know, really curious to know. And again, thanks to HubSpot for partnering on today's video. Be sure to check out those 50 free customizable templates. They're super helpful, they're really beautifully designed, and they're just a great starting point, again, no matter which role you find yourself in. Thanks so much for tuning in today's video. Talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye.